Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Where Did I Put My Glasses? I'm your host, Sensi.
And I'm your host, Carmen, and we're back. Hey, girl.
Hey, girl.
Sorry for my raspy ass voice. I know on the weekends I drink and I sound like a grown man. Well, what is it? Pubescent? How do you say it when you're going through? Boy, that's how I say it.
Oh, my goodness.
But we're gonna get through it because I have my water, but I also have coffee. So I'm not even helping myself in this situation. But we're here.
We're here.
Today we are going to talk about when is it a good time to respond or react during confrontations or conflicts? Because we all tend to, well, I can't put everybody in that bucket, but I know in my life and in my circle, we all tend to struggle with that dance between reacting and responding in various aspects of our lives, like with friends, romantic relationships. I know in my romantic relationships, I'm an emotional responder, and at work. Today, I want us to explore like how reacting, often an instinctive and emotional response, me, emotional responder, can be impulsive and influenced by our past experiences. Um,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know about you, but I know my past experiences definitely cause me to be impulsive when I'm responding.
I can agree with that, and I can relate to that.
Yeah. In contrast, responding is about being thoughtful and deliberate and carefully considering the situation, weighing your options and making a conscious decision. And I feel like as of lately, since I've been practicing this, excuse me, guys, especially with my therapist, I feel like I am beginning to learn to respond. So as I said earlier, like I am often a responder, like a reactor, not a responder, a reactor. And I've been trying my best to be like mindful of how I respond in situations because I can come off as emotional and misunderstood. And I never want to like intentionally disrespect anyone. So that's why I'm focusing on this area. And I thought it'd be great for us to talk about. How do you feel you interact during certain conflicts?
Well, for me, um, I feel like verbally or spoken language, like me speaking, I'm very reactive and I'm a reactor. But I respond written. So if it's something that I have to respond to via email or via text message, well, you know what? Let me go to the email. Via email, I'll be more responsive. Um, like if it's something that really angers me, I may write something that's very reactive. But then I won't send it. I just let it sit there until I can get my feelings together. I go back and I read it, and then, you know, I'll be able to tailor the response better. A text message, it depends on who I'm responding to. Then one, you may get a reaction, or two, I may do the same thing that I do with an email where I just let it sit there. It's like, all right. And then I'll probably say out loud, not to anyone, but just, talking to myself, what I would really like to tell you. And then after I've gotten myself together, calm down, whatever, I will come back and send you like an appropriate response. But if we're having a conversation, I, I don't think I respond appropriately given certain situations, but I've been doing really well as far as I would catch myself when I want to get up and say something out of pocket. I will stop myself and I may either not say nothing or I may say, like, give me a minute
I love
um,
that for you. You sound so mature.
before I say something that I can't take back. But in the past, I was 150% the reactor. And I would say whatever I feel like saying, and I'm gonna take it to hell.
Yeah.
And that was just me, but I'm not trying to be that person anymore. So I'm really working on carefully crafting my response. And when speaking to others, I said this like October of last year, where I would like to speak to people with more grace and tact. And I've been working really hard because
But sure, say it again.
what,
You
with
said,
grace and tact.
I love that. I'm
Yes,
going to start responding with grace
I'm
and
trying to be,
so
you know,
mature.
yeah. Um, but it's really a work in progress. Many people who know me will say, well, you don't care what you tell people. And it's like, it's not that I don't care. It's just that people say things, and to me it's like, are you dumb? Like, did you really just say that? Like, how do you not know this? And that's how I process it. So then my response, which is the reaction to me thinking you're dumb or what you said was dumb, comes off really blunt, rude, insensitive, and I'm not trying to be that.
I get you on that. Are you dumb? I be like, I'm not gonna lie. A lot of times I think most people are a little stupid, and that's just me. But
That's me too.
what grinds my gears, that's my favorite one. What grinds my
Mm-hmm.
is when that benign ignorance, like
Mm-hmm.
you don't understand, like what is that considered gaslighting? When people pretend like they have no idea why you're reacting the way that you're reacting, or if they act like they don't understand how what they said may have upset you and that you shouldn't be upset. That
That annoys me.
that leads me to emotionally responding, because it's like now you're purposely, you chose those words to hurt me.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yep.
now, and I am quick with the mouth. My mouth is a loaded gun at all times, and I'm the wrong person to say something to, because it is, and it's not, what is that, a revolver, so I can keep going. The revolver's ready.
As a automatic,
Yes.
semi-automatic.
I am
It
Debbie's
just keeps
daughter.
going.
Debbie's
Um,
daughter.
Sometimes in their defense, because I'm learning to see things from another person's perspective, just like when I may say something to someone who's not familiar with me, it may come across like, why is she talking like that? Are you gonna take that from her? Whereas other people know, well, she don't mean it like that. Why are you taking it like that? So sometimes from them, it's like, well, they are dumb. They've been dumb. The people that they talk to know that they, are who they are. So they've never gotten the reaction that they would get from, a different circle. Um, so sometimes it's easier said than done, where you have to kind of think about it like, is that what you meant? Do you really not know the implications of what you just said? Do you really not understand how someone could take offense to what you said? And then sometimes even going that extra mile with them probably will upset you even more, because some of them are just so ignorant and unwilling to see or even try to understand something from someone else's perspective. So that's difficult, honestly. I haven't mastered that. I'm still working on that.
I feel like, like we're all a work in progress. Well, I know I'm forever working on myself, and I'm okay with that. But
Mm-hmm.
like when you were saying, like someone who knows you and who doesn't know you, like that's a good point. Now, like for instance, right, misinterpreting like a text message, right? So like say one of your friends misinterprets a text message you sent, and it turns to like a conflict. Or have you ever had it where someone has misinterpreted, you have misinterpreted someone else's message? Like that's a
Yeah.
friend. Not like, how do you like handle that situation, like before and now?
Well, I've had both. Uh, Let me start with, if I misinterpret your message, I'm just going to go off. Like I am. You may get my response or you may not. Or I may just be in my own element and I go off. Like, how do you not understand what it is that I'm saying? Or how do you take it like that? Or how can you say whatever, whatever, whatever? And then like now I try to not say all of that in my response back. But my response back to you, you're going to know that I have an attitude because there'll be you're going to know that there's a problem there.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and usually the other person can pick up on the attitude, and then we may be able to hash it out. Like, this is what I got from what you said. And they may be able to tell me, well, that's not what I meant, whatever. But we'll be able to resolve it. If it's a case where someone says no, where I say something and it's misinterpreted, or they're just not understanding what it is that I'm saying, I am again going to get pissed off because I feel like what I said was really clear. How do you not get it? And I now do the same thing to where I'll probably just take several steps back, depending on how upset I get. Like, if I get real red, I'm just going to leave the message right there. And it's like, I'm good. I'm good on this right now because I am learning to not say things that you can't take back. And like I said, when I get upset, I take it to hell. So I just leave the phone and leave it be, and I'm done. Sometimes if I'm so mad, then I need to talk to another friend who is not just like me, somebody else who has a different personality, where I can say everything that I need to say. If I have to read the message, and then they'll be able to be more objective and give me a response or calm me down or whatever the case is, so that I could go back and respond. So that's kind of how I deal with it.
I like that. Like talk. I don't. One thing I don't like doing is talking to other people about how to respond to my friends because my friends are so diverse. Um, and I've had conflicts. You know that for some reason everybody. I've been in this world where some of my friends decide that they don't like each other, even if they never met each other, and they create these false like they become nemesis for no reason. And you know that. You know I've had those friendship groups where they absolutely hate each other. It's like, how? You don't even know this person. Like,
Mm-hmm.
you made that up. So I don't even we're not gonna go back and forth to that because I'm not gonna have you talk about this person and or this person took because it's not gonna be none of that.
Mm-hmm.
But what I will do, because that's one thing I don't play. If you talk about my friends, I'm telling them. And I might add something to make it spicy. So don't come to me talking about my friends because I'm not going to engage in this conversation with you. I'm going to let you know.
Mm-hmm.
I'll stop that. So I don't know. I just don't like to go to my other friends unless it's a situation where I feel like I'm wrong. Now,
Mm-hmm.
if I feel like I said something that may have been misinterpreted wrong, I would go to my friend and like, "Oh, how did that sound?" Or was I wrong?
Mm-hmm.
Or was I? Because then that helps me get a clear point. I usually go to you or Aunt Laura for that because I feel,
Mm-hmm.
Aunt Laura's just kind, period. And then you sometimes I feel have more a more rational mind than I do. Um,
Mm-hmm.
but when it comes to like something someone else says back in the day, you already know. Or if I didn't understand the message, I'm just going off.
Mm-hmm.
I'm flipping out, I'm cursing you out. Um, because I've had some toxic friendships at points in my life. But now that I'm older, I don't really engage in all that toxicity. But now I just rather call you. I'd rather be like, oh, I'm gonna call you real quick. Because you may not even you could have been texting real fast while you walking or putting your phone away or running to go do something and then I misinterpreted that whole situation. So you know what, call me or let me call you. That's how I get through that.
I mean, see, I kind of learned that from talking to this person, right? He is not a texter. I'm a texter. I don't like being on the phone. And I think that's also because, I could people right now, and in 5 minutes, I don't want to people. So that's why I like texting. But I would get so mad that, I would express my feelings or, just a long message or whatever. And he would just call. And it's like, why are you calling me? I sent you a message. Well, certain things you just have to talk about on the phone because you can misinterpret things via text message. And I used to be so annoyed, but he did have a valid point. Like, he really did. And just like hearing you say it, it reminded me of that. But if you call me and I don't want to talk to you, I'm gonna act like a whole child. Well, when I say act like a child, in my mind, I'm just not gonna be listening, or I may be listening, or I don't know, because I don't want to talk to you.
Grow up, girl. Grow up.
But and this is it too. Depending on how mad I am, and I have to say that because there's a curve, depending on how mad I am, I may decline your call and let you know, like, I'm not ready to talk right now. Again, because I'm just not in that headspace to one, hear what you have to say because I'm still feeling how I feel. And I need to feel my feelings before I can have whatever conversation. But you're absolutely right, where having a simple phone conversation could clear a lot of mess up when there didn't need to be any mess. However, if you have a friend who has the same personality like you, that could go from 0 to 1,000 real quick, you have to be able to know whether or not y'all can have that conversation right now, or maybe you need to have that conversation later. Um, and I do have a friend who is like me, and for that, I know when she's moody, and she knows when I'm moody. So it's like, all right, girl, you just feel your feelings, and when you ready to talk, you let me know, and then she'll let me know, or I'll let her know, and then we'll hash it out. Um, but I hate to admit it, but I still do think that, that simple phone conversation is the best way to go, because when you're reading a text message, you're not necessarily reading it in the same tone that the other person wrote it. You are reading it in whatever
Tone you
mind,
decided.
like the mindset that you're in right now. That's how
Mm-hmm.
you're reading it. And if you
Mm-hmm.
send me something that on a day where I'm just happy go lucky, I'm gonna read it and I'm gonna laugh at it, or whatever the case is. But if you send it to me and I'm in a funky mood, then it's like, ooh, why are you saying this to me? And then it turns into something when it was nothing. So that's one of the caveats about written communication.
Yeah, I don't know. Written communication has been tricky. Text messages
Yeah.
specifically have been tricky. But I will say, like, now in these recent years, text messages don't really get to me much. One, I don't really have the time to really text. And when I do text, and I scream in my text messages, everyone, it's always exclamation marks and happiness because I am generally just a happy person.
She
You
is, and
have a
it's so
temper.
annoying. She'll wake up, like, imagine you being on vacation, you wake up mad early for something, and she's just happy. Like, who does that? She does.
I am. I'm very like, good morning, everybody.
All day, every day, she's happy, except when she's mad.
Yeah. Except for when I'm mad. And even when I'm mad, I get over it real fast. I don't
You,
have the
she does.
capacity.
You just kind of have to let her go from here to Mars and back on her own, because she don't want to hear nothing that you have to say. And even if you try to tell her something, she hears you but don't really hear you. And then in like 2 minutes, she comes back and she tells you exactly what you told her, and you're just like, okay. And then she calms all the way down, and then she's good again.
So text messages. You know what this reminds me of before I ask you another question? Did you
What?
ever watch Key and Peele?
No.
So Key and Peele, Key and Peele have an episode where they I guess they're friends and they are like going back and forth.
Mm-hmm.
And he is I guess they're trying to hang out. And you know what? I'm gonna find the audio and drop it back here. And then that way you can hear it. I'm gonna play it for you. So I'm gonna pause this recording so you can hear it. And I'm gonna put it in for you guys. I don't know if I can do that. If if somebody tell me to take it down, I will. But let me play this for you.
I've been trying to reach out to you all day. Are we on for tonight? Jeez. What? You can't catch me. You can't catch me. I'm Lance Moore. Touchdown, bitch. What? Pause. Ah, shoot. Keegan's been texting me. Sorry, dude. Missed your texts. I assumed we'd meet at the bar. Whatever. I don't care.
Sorry, dude, missed your texts. I assumed we'd meet at the bar. Whatever, I don't care. Whatever, I don't care? The fuck is his problem? Do you even want to hang out?
Do you even want to hang out? Oh, that's considerate. Like I said, whatever.
Like I said, whatever? Fuck this guy! Jesus, you
Are fucking priceless. Aww. You're the one.
one who's fucking priceless? This motherfucker right here. Oh, he wants to. Okay. Okay. You want to go?
Right now? Huh. Guess I could do that. Okay.
Okay, let's go. He said, okay. Okay, let's go. All right, you know what? You know what? You want to really
Do this now? Keegan, you nut. You're not putting me out.
Fuck yeah, let's do it. Oh, you fucking asshole.
First round's mine.
Oh, no. Oh, no, there ain't gonna be no rounds, asshole. It's gonna be a fucking street fight. This son of a...
Because tonight we gonna party.
No!
Buddy! Like I said, first round's mine. A beer and a gimlet. For my partner, Ray. What's that?
I got you a baseball bat with nails in it.
For my post-apocalyptic Jackie Robinson costume, how did you know?
So, do you see what I'm talking about? Now that is me.
That is hilarious. And that is an accurate clip of you and me responding to a text message and me completely overreacting and getting very upset over something that I misunderstood.
And I'm sitting there like, well, what?
Yep, that is absolutely you. And you would sit and you would laugh like you have no idea what I'm talking about. Yeah. But text messages are still going to be my preferred method of communication. I'm sorry.
You don't understand text messages. Just call people, girl.
No. See, I feel like it's harder to get off the phone.
It is.
So I don't want to do it. And I mean, most people know when I say, I'm going to call you back. If I call you back, it's like, what? You call back?
Yeah. I'd be surprised when you actually call back. I'm like, well, she must really want to talk today. That's so nice.
I just don't like it. Like, because I can't think of a lie to get off the phone. Like,
just be like, all right, I gotta go bye. That's us, guys. Let me tell you something. If I need to get off the phone, like, all right, gotta go bye. I'm not even giving you an excuse. Talk to you later. Bye. Just say bye. And if they're upset,
I haven't been on the phone enough with people that I don't want to talk to get off. So I don't have that practice. I just don't answer.
Say, I'll call you back. I gotta open this soda real quick. You know. It's hard for you, you know, something simple. I gotta go walk the cat. I'll call you back. You know, just
oh my goodness.
People don't all they know is that you had to do something. They're not gonna catch that it was something stupid and just go on about your business. Now,
yeah, we'll see.
I want to know now. I will say I've never had a work environment where I've really had like coworkers because, you know, I was a travel therapist for so long. But now I have coworkers, like a team. And I will say that work environment is different because like even in the travel like world, you have people that you can call to bounce ideas off of, but you're not working with them every day, and it's not that everyday back and forth of the banter or the workplace drama.
Right.
And you develop these friendships even though you don't want to. Remember, I used to always say I'm never gonna have work friends, and I actually have work friends, even though I am the oddball because I'm the only Black one. There is another like Black SLP, but she's different. She's like a California black, and she's half white, half black. She's a sweet person, but she can't. I don't see her relating to me as a black person. Like I'm a black person, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
I hope I'm not saying it in a bad way because she's a nice person. I mean, like I'm black.
Understood. You're black.
Black. I sound black, walk black, talk black. I'm a black woman. She's, you know,
She's
more,
not like you.
yeah, she's more like a white woman, but but black.
Okay.
Yeah. And yeah.
I get it.
So I feel like they get along really well. And I feel like they like me, but I am me unapologetically. And I know that can be off-putting because they're very PC, because this is California. In California, you have to be PC all the time, or passive aggressive. And I'm aggressive. And
right.
I say exactly how I'm feeling, whether it's my supervisor. I don't really filter my responses. I'm respectful, but I don't filter my responses. If you're like, oh, am I saying that correctly? No. Or am I being misunderstood? Yes. Like, oh, did I get that correct? No, you didn't. Like, I'm not gonna allow you to like gaslight me or say anything to me, or if this is wrong, this is wrong. Oh, well, we have the evidence. Okay, would you mind sending that to me? You're not going to send it to me because you don't have it, right? I'm not going to like, oh, okay. Like, I don't know. I'm just not that type of person. So I know in my work environment, I'm the misunderstood person. So I try to, I guess, well, I am an efficient person as a whole. You know how I am. I have my to-do list. I like to get it done. I'm that type of person. Like I'm at work. My phone is on do not disturb. Do not disturb me. I am at work. I just like to do my job well. And I don't like to disrupt anyone else's workspace. That's just not in my character. So I'm not a big phone person during the work day because I feel like if you're at work, you want to be able to be efficient at what you're doing. I do, and the phone is a distraction. But I feel like sometimes those workplace conflicts arise because I didn't realize how gossipy the work environment is, and I sometimes get sucked in it. And then I go home and I'm like, what the fuck was I doing? That type of conflict causes me to react because after a while I explode. And then I have to sit there and like think back, like, did I just say that? Or why did I engage in that? Or why did I have that conversation? Or why did I even say that? Like you start regretting and overthinking, and that I do not like. I'm learning how to respond during work, not react, because I feel like that workplace gossip will reel you in.
Oh, it can. But I like where I work at because my room is out in the trailers. So I say, I'm in a pod on the island. I'm on vacation. Ain't nobody coming out there. So when I do go inside the building, I have to go and I ask a question, with my EC team or whatever. And if they're in there talking and yapping, whatever, I ask my question and then I exit stage left, because what I don't want, ain't nobody gonna say I said nothing. Ain't nobody gonna say I was there, I was not there. I didn't hear nothing. I don't know nothing. I didn't see nothing. Don't ask me nothing. That's me and my motto. I don't want to be involved.
I love that. I miss
the
that.
the only way I will stay is if they're having a conversation about a student and like how a teacher is treating a student and things that I'm not going to see because I only come into the building, I pull my students and go back. So things like that, I'll sit and I'll listen and they'll be like, Dr. Peters, what you think? I don't know. I'm just listening. I haven't been here long enough. Even if I'm there long enough, I haven't been here long enough. Or, typical New Yorker, it's like, wow, that's crazy. Like that's what you're gonna get from me. Like you're not gonna get more. If I do butt in, it's to ask a question. It's like, did you just say da 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 da? And for me to gather information, and I'm just gathering the information and put it in the back of my head and knowing how to proceed. But what I'm not gonna do, like, I'm not gonna be involved because let me tell you, working in these schools, it is so catty,
So is
and
the
the people
hospital.
don't like each other,
So is the
and
hospital.
they're clique-ish. Like, working in the school is like going to high school, except you're the adult and you're a part of clique. I'm not in no clique.
So
I
that I
am by
can
myself.
remember when I was in Florida,
Mm-hmm.
when I did the 2.5 years out there,
Yeah.
that was like high school.
Yep.
That was like high
Schools are it's high schooly because it's cliquey and it's
school.
political.
Hmm.
And I don't do well with any of those things because all of those things are still somewhat restrictive. And I don't like restrictions. I like to be me. So I go where I'm at in my vacation pod and I stay there and I listen to music when I'm not seeing kids. And I kind of just stay far from the work gossip. Like I said, I come in on something that's like, yeah, I'll be back. I don't like it. I can't do it. I can't. I can't be around people, and you know this. I can't be around people who don't like other people, but they can't tell them that they don't like them. And
See,
then they're
that's the
in their
thing.
face and they're smiling and they're ha ha kiki. It's like, girl, look at
That's
you.
the
You don't
part
even like her. And I can't fake the funk. If I don't like you, I don't like you. You're gonna know that I don't like you, and you're gonna stay away from me.
forever.
I can't do it. Now, I may not like you, but in a professional setting, I can speak to you about the job.
Hmm.
I'm not going to speak to you about anything else. Now, that's different. I can be cordial, but you're not my friend because I don't throw that word around loosely.
Hmm.
You're somebody I work with, and I
Hmm.
either like you or I don't like you. That's that.
See, in my work environment, like, so I have two, I'm inpatient and outpatient.
Mm-hmm.
And my outpatient coworkers, we may laugh and joke, but it's none of the bull crap.
Mm-hmm.
There's no drama. There's no back and forth. But my outpatient, I feel like, and I am true to this, right? I get sucked into when I'm upset, I'll go and vent, and I'm learning. I was telling one of my other coworkers, she's learning to respond and not react as well. Her and I are like, listen,
Mm-hmm.
this is getting out of hand. Being involved in this type of conversation is getting out of hand. So we are both like helping each other, like, oh, remember, respond or send like motivational things to keep each other from getting involved. So we've
Mm-hmm.
been like accountability buddies because we both
Well,
feel
that's
like
good.
we're too grown for this. What is this? Let's not engage in this. So I like that. But I do find myself sometimes still initiating or getting involved. But you had said something earlier with the pretending to like there's like situations in my job, right, where you have to be professional. You may have conflicts, but there are people that I don't personally care for. I stay away from. I do my job. If they need me, I'm there. I help them. I do. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
They're never gonna feel like I don't like them, but I'm not going to go above and beyond and do all this extra stuff. No, I'm going to help you. If you need help with something, I'm going to be there. If you need information, I'm going to give it to you. I'm responding to all your emails because we're at work, but we're never going to have a cocktail together, or dinner together, or lunch outside. None of that stuff. I'm not going to go out of my way to be like, good morning, none of that. But I
Mm-hmm.
find with certain coworkers, even if they don't like someone, when they see the person, and I know you don't like this person, but good morning, how are you? Oh, yeah. And I'm looking like, you don't even like this lady. Why are you doing all of that? That's
Mm-hmm.
and it causes me to react
I
because,
was gonna say, now that I can react to.
yo, that
If
causes
we're
me to
in the
react.
same space, my face is most
Yo,
definitely going to react to that because it's like, what? So, no. I'm very
exactly.
protective of the space that I'm in. And if I
And
start being in an environment to where I feel like I'm being beside myself, it's like you have to get me out of here because then everything is going to be a reaction
yes,
because you're making me uncomfortable.
yes.
This is against my principles. So now it's like fight or flight response, and I'm fighting.
So that's what it became. So when I first started working there, I didn't really engage in workplace gossip or be a part of that, because remember, I worked in a place where, when I was in Florida, where people workplace gossiped about me, that whole situation. So, and I was just in my own world, living in my la la land, but they decided, you know what, let's fuck with her. But you know me, I was threatening all the people and doing whatever, but just leave me the fuck alone. I'm a grown person. So, in this environment, I find myself that I changed in that way, and that's why I'm trying to learn how to respond. And I talked with my therapist. She explained this may not be the environment for you, because like even when I go to lunch, I try to have my headphones, or I try to talk about something else, and the only thing they're talking about is workplace drama. So then I get sucked into it, and there's nowhere to have lunch, only that place. So I'm in an environment that is not conducive to who I really am and how I operate outside of work. And so it causes me to hate my job, because I know, like, I literally, while I'm driving to work, I try to listen to my inspirational stuff. I have my things, I meditate in the morning. And when I get to work, my teeth are grinding, because it's like, oh, this is about to be a whole bunch of bullshit today. And then I get sucked into the bullshit, and then I'm seeing stuff now, and then I'm reacting, but I don't want to react. I want to respond only when necessary and get the fuck out of there. So this may not even be the best work environment for me, because
it's important that you point that out, where your environment determines whether or not you're going to respond or react. Because I feel like we end up responding, we end up reacting because you're pretty much trying to keep yourself together. So that part of your brain that would rationalize and provide, a coherent response that you done really thought about, that's out the window, because you have been spending all of your time to just remain sane. So when something happens, it's like, okay, I'm just going to react to this. Like, this is the first thing that's coming. So all of the things that you're feeling comes out with your response to whatever it is, because you're already uncomfortable and you're on guard for the entire day. So when you said that, it kind of put that into perspective for me. So it's really important. One thing I guess we could take away from that is really important to be mindful of your space. And I do agree with you that your work environment is not the one for you. And the one for you is coming. But I can say, where I do work, I do love it. My admin, my principal, she is, I would say she's amazing. She's a little bit over the top, which that catches me off guard, because every time she sees me, it's like, hey, Dr. Peters. And I'm just like, hey. And one day she's like, I'm not going to greet you like this. I said, because this is weird for me. This is why I don't respond, because it's like, why are you doing this? Like, you're doing a whole lot.
She's like, probably nice.
No, but then she said, I don't know what it is, but there's just something about you. When you come around, there's just this energy, and I feel so happy. And I just wanted to let you know how happy I am to see you. And I'm just like, oh, okay. And that's exactly how I said it, because that's not me. Like, I am never going to be the one to be like, hey, girl. Like, no, what? But I am happy to see you. I'll say, hey, it's never going to be more than that. But I do have a good work environment. I do have like good team members. They have their own set of issues, and then EC to general ed, we kind of do have the same issues with others.
Well, let them know what EC is, because
EC is our version of special ed. So in North Carolina, it's exceptional children, and that's our special education department. And I guess maybe this can be considered gossip, which I do engage in, where I probably have a student, or the EC teacher has a student in a particular class, and we're now frustrated because classroom teacher is calling and saying these things aren't working and they're having these difficulties in the classroom, but you provided them with the resources, but they're not using the resources. So I guess when we get together and talk about things like that, excluding the general education teacher, that could be considered gossip. Now that I do engage in. And we do vent, but at the same time, we try to come up with a way to mitigate the situation. But outside of that, then no gossip for me.
Now, what do you do like at work when like your supervisor or your like director or assistant director gives you feedback that like is unexpectedly negative? Like, like, do you react defensively or do you take time to formulate a response? I remember one situation that pissed you off, but rightfully so. Rightfully so. But
At that school,
yeah.
yes. Because I was thinking about it. I'm like, I'm doing pretty good. Then I was like, wait, that one school that I told them that I would quit. That one lady. Now, ooh. I wanted to curse that lady out. And I typed an email to her. And I typed and edited and retyped. I think I did it about 5 times. And then I was still so pissed. I think I sent it to Jessica and I was like, yo, fix this. Right? And Jessica is my editor, right? Because when I am mad, whether you see my face.
You sent it to me.
I sent it to you?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, I guess I sent it to both of you then. I don't know.
With
Whatever.
all my powers combined? I'm just like...
Yes. No, because sometimes when I'm there, it's like, I'm going to send it to all y'all because I need somebody to answer me now before I do the wrong thing. And yes, it was you. I did. Okay. It was, that school was just, that school was from the pits of hell. But y'all had to fix it to take all the tone out of it. And then I still had to meet with her. And it's like, I don't want to meet with this lady. And I really didn't want to meet with her. And she still doesn't have respect for Black people. She doesn't. And I don't care what nobody says. And I still wouldn't forget it. For one, you couldn't get my name right. Like, you couldn't. And then when my child...
Whether you can't, if you can't get your name even by spelling it, someone saying it to you, Sensimilia is not hard.
Well, see, it wasn't even that. It wasn't even my first name. It was my last name. She kept calling me Miss Peters Lewis. And it's like, my last name is Peters.
And it's Doctor.
It wasn't Doctor yet.
Oh.
When it became Dr. Anderson, who was Black, made a big deal about it. She still continued to call me Miss. When the other white lady down the hall got her doctorate, automatically it became Dr. Whatever. And I said, you know what? I'm just going to let it be because I already told my department that if they don't move me at the end of the school year, I'm going to quit. So I'm going to just let it be. I'm not going to let her get under my skin because I see how she treats Black people in this building. And I just kind of let it be. Like, call me whatever you want to call me. You can't take it away from me. It is what it is. But that lady still boils my blood to this day. So yes, I had to outsource some assistance from my friends to be able to respond to her appropriately. And I had another situation like that where it wasn't even that I got, it wasn't from a supervisor, it was from a student. So I'm also a TA at the university, at Rocky Mountain University of Health Professionals. And last summer, I had a student that I graded her paper with comments. And she sent me back what was like an essay. So to every comment I made, she made a comment to my comment. And then she also had sources where she cited different things. And this is me. When you start citing things, like, you lose me completely, because why can't you just say what you need to say? This student felt like my comments were attacking her level of intelligence. And she rolled out her resume and basically told me that because I have my doctorate, I think that she doesn't know stuff. And I was fuming because it's like, honey, I don't know you. I've never met you. I've never interacted with you. I graded the work that you produced solely on the information that was presented to me. Nothing else.
It has nothing to do with your character. And I'm as a professor, I realize that like students now, because I know how to distinguish between constructive feedback and just blatant bias, or you're
Right.
attacking who I am as a character. When someone is responding to your paper, it's about the stuff you put in the paper.
Yeah, just that. And like when I was responding back to her, I had to send my email to the professor. And I'm like, hey, this is a response that I drafted for her. Please let me know whether or not it comes off aggressively. And then she kind of took it, tweaked it, and sent it out because I am aware of my ability to sound really mean. I am. And that's not my intent.
It is your intent most of the time. No, I'm kidding.
No, it
But
really
yeah.
is. Oh, no, when it is, there is no mistaking it. But a lot of times it's not. And I am misunderstood by a lot of people. Only those who have like direct access to me understand me. And that's like maybe a handful of people. Most people don't know me. They know, and it's funny. I remember when I was going through my turmoil, let's just call it that. I had a friend say to me, these people don't know you. They're only seeing your reaction to the stuff that was done to you. And that's me reacting because I could store stuff. Like I could store stuff. You'll tell me something and it pisses me off, but it doesn't piss me off to the level that requires a response. So I'll just sit on it. And then maybe months later you do something else and then I sit on that. And I keep sitting on it until I blow up. And then when I blow up, it's bad. It's beyond bad. And that's how I've been. And I am working on that piece too. And it all still ties into learning how to respond appropriately. And I'm still learning how to do that.
Those mindful interactions, I've learned, well, I've never been one to like sit on things. I'll sit on it.
No, you don't.
But I don't sit on things. I have to let you know how I'm feeling right now because I don't want to harvest any feelings. One, the reason why I don't like harvesting feelings, because those feelings will manifest and create in your mind this false reality that you don't like this person. And I do like this person. But if I harbor those feelings, it festers and it grows into some fake dislike. And then you attack a person for no reason. I don't like that. I don't like anything festering or becoming cancerous and making this negative situation that's never been negative. It was just a misunderstanding. I don't sit on anything because it can be cancerous. You could fester and grow into some fake false reality that you're creating in your head. Nope, I live here. So I'm gonna tell you what happened right now. And then you can be like, girl, I didn't mean it like that. Or even the only situations where I can say that I let it fester, I'm more mindful with my friends and my family members. I'm mindful of those interactions. Relationships is where I struggle with that because with men, I tend to like herd everything in at first. Everything they do, I hold, I'll tell you, I don't really talk to too many people, y'all, about my relationships because I don't really trust people are like grimy. If I had a close friend who liked someone I was with and used to cause drama because she wanted to be with him. You know what I mean? I have like I don't trust like women when it comes to men. And not that men aren't, I don't get into that 50-50 or the men versus woman situation because everybody can be pieces of shit. But whether you're male or female, it is what it is. Some people are more pieces of shit than other, and that's for them, their spiritual guide or ancestor or creator, and their conscious. But with men specifically, it's hard for me to go back and I explode, like what you said. I'll hide it, and then explode because I'm always scared of men's reaction. And for like people who don't know me, I date really big men. I think it's because I'm small.
Because you're little. Yeah.
All of my men are giants. Like, I don't know what it is. They're like 6'5", 200. Like, I end up with giant men. And then I've been in 2 relationships where I got like my ass whooped, full transparency. So when it comes to men, my relationship partners, I'm more docile. And then when I can't take it no more, I'm trying to bust your head open with a cast iron pin. I become domestic. It becomes domestic violence because I harbored everything, scared of your reaction to me trying to explain myself, that I explode. And I become reactive in those situations too. But I'm more mindful in my interactions with my friends and family members or coworkers. Well, depending.
Yeah.
But my romantic relationships, I what you said, sit, explode. That's not healthy.
Yep. Well, I mean, I don't really have relationships. All right, let's see. My marriage, that was terrible. Communication style, just terrible. Nobody listened. It was just defensive. And that also happens too when you don't talk about stuff and you don't point out something that was a small problem. And you keep having these small problems, and it's like a piggy bank where you keep depositing these small things on top of things, and eventually the piggy bank gets full, and then you blow up, and then it's like, well, where's all this coming from? And then the other person is not listening or not understanding where you're coming from, and then you get more upset about that, and it just becomes a really bad situation where you break stuff. And yes, so in that past relationship, I did have someone who I was talking to, and it was the complete opposite. I can actually say a lot of stuff that he did not bother me. And nothing bothered him. Everything is always fine. It's
those nonchalant guys. Oh,
listen, everything is fine. Well, the world is crumbling. Well, that's fine. Yeah, because everything's fine, right? Like, there's never a problem. He never gets upset about anything. I think he got upset one time, and he got real mad that he hung up on me. And I was like, oh, this is different. But it was also because most Americans think Caribbean people are rude.
I don't know. I don't really get. I think we find it funny. We like the way y'all.
No, see, you're from New York, so it's different. I feel like New York is just New York, and you can't compare anybody coming out of New York to other people. But it was something that my friend said that I was thinking, and her and I thought it was funny and busted out laughing, but he took it really offensive. And I was like, but we don't mean it like that. And he's like, you don't even know what that means. How could you say that? Da, 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 da. And it's like, well, it means that to you, and this is what it means to us. But then I said, girl,
tell me. I want to know. It was something spicy, wasn't it?
No, it wasn't. It was something real stupid, right? So he said he was going to Cracker Barrel to eat, right? So, like I said, I had been working on not saying what I think, so I didn't say it. But he was on the FaceTime, and she heard him. And she said, look at him being an Uncle Tom or whatever. And I busted out laughing because that's exactly what I thought, right? Not really thinking of what an Uncle Tom really is. And it's like, but that's not what I meant. It's kind of like you acting like Carlton, like that. But I had to listen to what he was saying. I had to listen, and I had to reel it back in and understand from his perspective how he felt. And I think that was my first real time, like, hearing what the other person said and trying to understand it, because I did care about the person. So I can say that my communication style changed a lot with that nonchalant person, because for somebody to not care about nothing, but then get upset about that, it was like,
Uncle Tom is serious.
Huh?
Uncle Tom, that's like calling somebody Django. The Django. You know?
Listen, the man was mad. And I think for him, he said he was more upset that it came from her and not me because he doesn't know her, and for her to say that, I'm like, but she's just like me. And he's like, but I don't know her. I said, all right, fair enough. Like I understood. But I mean, outside of that, I don't date because I just can't deal with the crazies. I try to be positive, but I just can't. Like I just can't. I can't. You know how I feel about people. I'm now starting to like people. Let me say that.
You be doing a good job. You got friends and stuff now.
I do. I have like friends in the neighborhood. I have mom friends and stuff. Well, no, hold on. Pause. Pause. Pause.
That you're
Pause.
friendly
Let
with.
me go back. I am friendly with people in the neighborhood.
So people, a part of responding, learning to react versus respond. I used to react with the word friend. And since you used to put it into perspective, those are not your friends. You are friendly with that person. So now I'm more mindful of how I introduce people. Like, oh, I was with so and so, this girl I'm friendly with. Because you're not my friend. I wouldn't tell you my personal business. I wouldn't go to you if I need something. I wouldn't call you if I was crying, but I would have lunch with you. I would, go for a walk and have some coffee with you. But I wouldn't want to know your personal life or tell you my
Right.
life. So friendly.
Friendly. But one of the mom people, one of the moms, we're actually becoming friends because that's Skylar's best friend's mom. And we're kind of have a village for each other. So we are becoming closer, and I'm open to those things. But when it comes to men, like I guess I'm still dealing with stuff, and I don't really know how to deal with the people. And I think for me also, one major thing is that dating an American man is out of the comfort zone because now I'm going to meet a stranger. I don't know anybody that knows you, that could vouch for you, that could tell me about your family.
So that's one thing I want to tell you, because your people, let me tell you, they live in a walking novela. I used to tell her, like, girl, this is not a soap opera, and these people have nothing to do with each other. They live in a novela land where they think every day's a soap opera, everybody's life, they need to know this. No, it's none of their fucking business.
No, but you see, you're comparing that last situation. No, okay. You know how, just like you get a job and they need a reference, so they call your reference? It's like that. Like, I don't have a reference
Get to know them, and then you can meet
okay,
their friends.
no, you could talk to somebody for a very long time and still never know who they are because you only know what they present to be.
Oh, hello, the last
yes, I know
man I was with.
Right. So I think that is a fear of mine. Like it is. But now I know how to, and I still do judge. I look at the interactions that you have with your mom, the interactions that you have with your children, if you have children. I look at the type of friends that you have. And it's like, okay, I'll see certain things just like that. But I still haven't like gone out there, whatever. So, but we'll see. Maybe, on Tequila Tuesdays, I had said this, so maybe I'll have something to talk about. And here we are in 2024, and I still have nothing to talk about. But I think that I'm doing a really good job of being mindful of noticing things that I do need to work on and actively working on them. Because the one thing I can say from that situation was that when you care about somebody, like you really care about them, you don't want to say something that you can't take back, because once they hear it, they can't unhear it. And that's what I keep telling myself. And even dealing with my friends, it's like, even if this is how I feel right now, if I say it, they will forever remember that. You can never take it back. No matter how good you guys are, no matter where the relationship goes from there, you can't take it back. So I try my very best to not say things that I don't really mean.
And
So,
I think that's a good way to leave this on. Like for people out there who are struggling with reacting versus responding, one, I will say, think about your relationship when especially if it's like a work relationship, a romantic relationship, even friendships, right? Because we have to have that balance.
friendships are relationships.
Yeah, they're hard because they're people you love. So if love
Hmm.
comes with a lot of different emotions. So balancing, especially honesty, right? Staying true to yourself, being honest and honoring that relationship and who you are.
Hmm.
I say what I have been practicing and what my therapist learning, read what that person has written. If it's a friend, can I call you? If it's a romantic partner, can I call you? Right? Or can I FaceTime you? So that way you can see their facial expressions, hear their tone, and hear where they're coming from and actually listen.
Hmm.
Actually listen. Not listen to
Not
respond.
listen to respond.
Actually listen, because when you actually listen, you are truly mindful of how you respond to that person because you heard and you've digested all that they have had to say to you. And then that way you can give them a response that makes more sense and you can move on without having to have some big, huge conflict. And I'm learning to do that within my work environment. And another way, I don't know, for me, to have more mindful interaction in the workplace when I'm working on is one, if that workplace is toxic for you, work actively at finding another place or another career that may be best for you and who you are morally and within your character. And so that's,
Hmm.
or making sure you create a space where you can be protected from that. And that I am actually working on. So I know how to respond with my friends, and I'm learning how not to react with work and men that I'm dating or seeing. So that's where I'm leaving it. It's a work
Okay.
in process. I'll let you guys know how it's going throughout the year. How about
Yep.
you, Nancy? What do you
It's a work
feel
in
about
progress for me. And like I said, because I don't date or have a partner, I just have really close friends that mean stuff to me. Um, I have to practice all of my communicating with those friendships because I've had the same friends for years. I don't really have new friends, but everybody that I know are people that I've known for a long time.
it?
And I can honestly say I haven't lost a friend because of anything that I did, because I think my friends can appreciate the type of person that I am. I'm honest. What you see is what you get. That's it. So I am going to continue to practice, bettering my communication, becoming a little bit softer because I can be a little bit
Rough.
rough. And I think it's just a protective habit because I'm not really rough. I'm soft. But I'm going to continue to do that. Learning how to respond. And one of the things that I had as a goal was not relying on my friends to correct certain things for me. So I need to learn on my own how to take my feelings out of those emails and just being able to identify when I'm going certain places and um just reel it back in and continue to be better because I do want to be an effective communicator. I do want to work on those things that I think are a problem, so that I can have better conversations with my friends. And then when I do get a partner, communication is not going to be one of those things that I need to work on.
I like that. And we challenge you all to think about, am I a responder or am I a reactor? And is it because of past experiences or is it my character? And I challenge you to think about, what can I do to fix it? And if you don't want to fix it, that's fine. If you love the way you are, I love that for you. But I challenge you to think about that.
Yep. And one other thing for the people who think, well, there's nothing wrong with the way that I talk, because I used to be one of those people. I I challenge you to look at how your friends or the people who are close to you, how do they feel about the way that you speak to them? Have they ever brought something up? Is it something that you think is worth looking at? Because if 5 people are telling you the same thing, then honey, you're not perfect. So you may need to look at that. You may not want to accept it, but you should probably take a look at that and see, what changes can be made.
Oh, I like that. That was a nice little piece of knowledge for the people, a little pearl to take away.
I try.
But thank you so much for joining us for today's episode. I want you to please, please, please share Where Did I Put My Glasses with your family and friends, and click follow or subscribe on your preferred podcasting platforms to stay updated on the latest episodes. And give us 5 stars, guys.
Yes, 5 stars.
Thank you. And also go to Where Did I Put My Glasses for information on me and Cincy, to look at the latest episodes, to show it your support. And even if you want to make suggestions for future shows, and you can also sign up to be on our email list.
And to interact with us directly, you could go to Instagram or Facebook at Where Did I Put My Glasses? And you could add your thoughts, ask questions, make comments about today's episodes and previous episodes.
Exactly. Thank you, guys. See you next time.
See you next time.